I've been thinking a lot about the idea of voting for yourself as described in Atomic Habits by James Clear. We all imagine that we need huge efforts in order to cause huge changes, but what about tiny efforts for a long amount of time in order to cause those changes, both in ourselves and in our businesses? That's what we're gonna talk about. To give a little context, I've been swamped with work lately from all kinds of sites because I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree in engineering now, and so that means projects, exams, graduation, thesis stuff, and of course looking into masters that I'm gonna be doing hopefully soon, their admission requirements, what I need to prepare, while juggling also these videos and writing the scripts, editing the videos, and doing just a tiny bit of outreach. And it made me wonder if I'm spreading myself too thin, if I'm doing too much and I don't even realize it. But I know that some of the things I mentioned are much harder than the others. I mean, I'm still working out, I'm still getting more than 10,000 steps a day, but I don't even think about it these days. It's more like a footnote. It's completely invisible to my mind. Even though that's something that I did struggle with at the start, so what gives? And that's when the idea for this video came about. What if I just did tiny little actions for a huge amount of time until I built up those same habits to the point that they do feel invisible, that they happen just nearly automatically, until they cross that aforementioned habit line that we talked about in an earlier video. I've had a fair bit of money saved up for a while, but as I started to spend little bits of it here and there, the alarm bells in my mind kind of started going off more and more until I realized that I've gotten too comfortable. Way too comfortable. Felt I had a decent bit of money stashed up, so I didn't feel as much urgency to reach out, and now before I knew it, it completely died down, and I have to build up the momentum back up, even though I think I'm pretty decent at the skill itself by this point. I realized that I needed to make it as subconscious and effortless as exercise had become in my daily life. And so it's become a perfect chance to put into use what we've talked about and also use the title to focus on the inputs and not the money. Because here's the thing with outreach, it isn't a perfect one-to-one convergent linear thing. You could be sending 100 messages and not get a single reply, but on the 101st message it turns out to be accepted by a dream client that will pay you $5,000 a month. Yes, that can happen, and it does. Meaning that it tends to be a pretty hard habit to positively reinforce because the feedback from it is so delayed and can be so erratic. It falls nearly completely outside of your control, the results of it. This was something I did at the start, but now I'm re-implementing it again. A lot of my earlier work mornings tend to be focused on customer acquisition, meaning sending out reach outs, recording videos, writing the scripts for them. First, I didn't batch my work because usually I had college on Saturday, and I had to get out these videos on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so there just wasn't the time for them. So I could do the work and have a tasty meal right after, made it a lot easier to handle and made it a lot more enjoyable of a day-to-day routine. And well, we have 120 videos on this channel so far, so I think it has worked pretty well. And nowadays it's not an obstacle knowing that yes, a video is supposed to come out today. But with me finishing up my degree, I finally have my mornings back, and so I get to focus on customer outreach, set my quota and do it for the day and reward myself with a nice tasty snack after. Since that is one of the few enjoyments that I have fixed into my day, and you will have some of your own that you can manipulate and use to your advantage. So if you're in the same position of building up your outreach, then we can have some tips to use guided by some behavioral science. The hardest part for me outreaching at the start was the idea that I was going to pretty much go up to a stranger and say, hey, I have this thing you could possibly want, I want money from you, give it to me now. As you can imagine, that was deathly awkward. Because it just felt like you're bugging someone because you wanted money from them. Rather than seeing it as outreaching your hand in order to help someone and wanting to be appreciated properly for it with money. So if this is where your mind is at, then I think you'll benefit a lot from making that shift. You will be able to take it in stride and approach it with an open heart. The rest of it is just making it physically more accessible and palatable to you. That means having your PC, laptop, or whatever you use to outreach always on. Always have the Gmail application or tab open right beside you. Have a list ready with all the leads that you're interested in and want to contact. Make it simple enough that you can do that new habit in under 2 minutes at the start. If the version you have in your mind is too consuming or too daunting, then you just downscale that habit into something that does fit. Do it for a long enough time and you'll get that thought in your mind, I'm already doing it, I want to go a little bit farther. Set yourself a reward after finishing a certain number of outreaches per day that you have set out for yourself, and give yourself a bonus whenever you get a positive response to one, and then study it, see what you did right. Yes, we're going full conditioning mode here. And if you miss a day, then just never miss twice. A reminder to myself and to you to re-implement some of the things that I have and push myself to go a little bit farther and implement some new tactics. If you like these videos with the added psychology element to them, let me know. It's a fresh and interesting twist rather than just going purely business stuff, and I tend to enjoy it just a little bit more. And with that, I think I'll see you pretty soon next time. Bye.